Welcome to Life Ascended, where you can discover your divine potential every day. Sponsored by Ascension17.com, the place to go to manifest a higher version of yourself using the 7 aspects of Ascension. Now, here's your host, Cynthia Clark, spiritual mentor, hand analyst expert, healer, author, and speaker. Hello, spiritual friends, and welcome to another episode of Life Ascended, where we discover our divine potential every day. And today I am really excited to talk to you about one of my most favorite topics, and that is living your life purpose. So today we are going to be covering some very interesting things that maybe you didn't know about how to live your purpose, what is it, and let's dive in together. So today's episode is for you if you are interested in manifesting your soul's purpose, if you want to be in alignment with your work, and if you really just want to access your highest timeline. So we're going to talk about what life purpose is. We're going to look at how fingerprints show you your soul contract. I'm going to be reading to you some channeled messages that I have received from the higher dimensional realms about purpose. We are also going to be doing an activation to show up for yourself and how you can continue your progress with a sleep meditation that I have created just for you regarding purpose. So, what is life purpose? Your life purpose is not a job, by the way. It's not a title. It's not a specific outcome. It is a frequency. It is something that you embody. And your purpose shines through your soul's choices, your gifts, and your natural expression. So here are some messages that I received regarding purpose. Purpose is not an object to be found. Rather, it is a process that is part of your everyday existence. You agree to come to Earth and serve the One. This is everyone's purpose. But how this is accomplished Okay, so let me read to you some messages that I received from the higher dimensional realms. This one came in from the Pleiadian Council of Light. Purpose is not an object to be found. Rather, it is a process that is part of your everyday existence. You agree to come to Earth and serve the One. This is everyone's purpose. But how this is accomplished is through the unique individual's DNA coding, the personality, and the free will choices that come up every day. It is in unfolding this process you call purpose. It is fluid with many intersections based on those choices. Okay, so just to pause here and talk about the first transmission, it's really telling you that you don't have to try so hard to live your purpose. You just have to align yourself with your everyday choices. Serving the One, right? Serving the one divine creator. That's something that we're all here to do. But we want to combine our personality, in other words, your ego, and that would represent like your preferences, right? So we all have different preferences, and you're really not, you don't need to be doing something that you hate to do. You can find joyful purpose through alignment. Okay, the second part of this transmission says, the DNA coding comes from the chosen ancestral lineage, the chosen time and place of birth, and the chosen selections made prior to incarnation. For example, two souls could have similar DNA coding ancestors, and exact time and place of birth, and still have very unique experiences. For each soul carefully chooses what is going to be worked on both karmically and for soul growth and development. It is all carefully planned before coming into a body. Okay, so this part of the transmission is really saying that we can have similar experiences, but each soul is unique and individual. And so this is why we have so many different lenses that we look through, which we're going to talk about. Okay, so the next part is knowing that you will go through the veil of amnesia brings in the fun and adventure of the earth experience. It brings in the very temporary illusion to make it all work. Because if you remembered it all, it would not be very easy to take seriously, would it? Your earthly personality would not have an opportunity to grow and contribute because the greater soul would easily dominate it. As Pleiadians, we observe the whole process and bring assistance when we are invited to do so. We are not allowed to interfere with this important process. We are happy to assist when called for the aid of the soul's growth and development. Okay, so this is really an interesting part of the transmission because it's saying that if you remembered everything about everything you've ever done forever, you wouldn't take your current life seriously because you would remember all the things that you did and all the experiences you had both on planet and off planet. And yeah, you wouldn't take things very seriously, would you? You'd be distracted. And the Pleiadians are also saying that they don't interfere with your free will because, of course, we are on a free will planet. So what that means is that you need to invite assistance. I always invite only higher dimensional beings to assist me because, of course, we don't want to attract lower astrals or invite trouble into our lives. So we need to invite the higher guides to assist. So this would include the Pleiadian Council of Light. This could include the Andromedans, the Hathors, the Syrians, the Arcturians. Any of these galactic groups are good to work with. You can also call in the archangels. You can call in specific guides. You can call in your spirit guides. Any of these beings could be useful for you. You can also call in divine source. You can always just do that as well. Whatever feels good to you. Personally, I occasionally will request a specific guide if there's something that I want to, it's like their specialty, right? Certain guides teach certain things. So the Pleiadians teach me a lot of stuff about fingerprints and things like that. Speaking of fingerprints, we're going to move on to that next. So, how do we identify our purpose? This is actually going to be located in the fingerprints. This is where the higher self or the superconscious information is located. Your fingerprints do form 5 months before you're born, and the fingerprints never ever change. So they do represent your soul's DNA imprint, and they can guide you in your life purpose, your life lesson, your soul gifts, and your school, or how you look through the lens that you look through as you go through life. All right, so I'm going to show you actually some different types of fingerprints. And if, by the way, if you're just listening to this episode, I will describe what I am showing. Okay, so when I read a set of fingerprints, by the way, I've read for over 8,000 people in the last 17 years, and this system works with anybody. By the way, I've never met a person whose fingerprints I couldn't read. I do have some people who are like, oh, my fingerprints are worn off and you can't read them. Well, through a magnifying glass, I can still read them. And it doesn't mean that they disappeared. Okay, everybody has fingerprints. You can even burn them or cut them, and the fingerprint will try to grow back exactly the same way. So yeah, this really is that DNA soul imprint. And so in a set of 10 fingers, by the way, you could have any combination of fingerprints. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about 4 basic types of prints, but you could also have different subtype fingerprints. There's about 10 different subtypes that can show up. So there's many different combinations. Most people do not have all of their fingerprints the same, but sometimes they do. Yeah, you could potentially have 10 that are the same, but it's much less common to be that way. And so we read the set of 10 as a map. All right. The first thing we look at is the dominant type of fingerprint. That is going to show you your school or how you see the world. You can think of it as the lens that you're looking through as you go through life. The location of the high-ranking fingerprint is going to show you your life purpose, and the location of your low-ranking fingerprint is going to show you your life lesson. Okay, and yeah, there's a whole system to this, which I'm not going to be able to explain in this video. It actually takes quite a bit of training to learn how to do this whole system. But what I want you to get out of this is that your fingerprints are the map to everything about your soul's agenda. And so if you look at why would we come to Earth without an agenda? You know, why would we come without a map? Does that make sense? In my mind, that doesn't make any sense. Of course, we have a map. Of course, we have something that can show us the way. And it makes even more sense to me that it would be in our own bodies and it would be visible in our own bodies. And so, of course, it would be in our hands, right? So, by the way, the connection between your brain and your hands is 30% of your brain. So, this is more than any other part of your body. This is highly significant, right? So, these are not just random markings, they are highly organized and they are the blueprint of you. Okay, so if your dominant fingerprint is a loop, okay, loops look like a wave pattern on the finger, and you need to have 8 or more of these. This is going to correspond to the water element, and it's going to put you into the school of love and closeness. Okay, so an emotional person is going to have lots of loops. And on a soul level, you're seeking connectedness to others. Okay, if your dominant fingerprint is a whorl, that's going to look like a bullseye pattern on the finger. You need to have 4 or more of these, and whorls correspond to the air element. Okay, the school is going to be service, which means that on a soul level, you came in to help out in some capacity and you were seeking the pathway of service consciousness. If you have a simple arch as your dominant fingerprint, all you need to have is 2 or more of these in a set of 10 fingers. And this pattern looks like a little hill. It just goes up and back down. And simple arches correspond to the earth element. Your school is inner peace. Okay, so what that means is that you are here to find balance in your life, find that inner peace in your life, and really getting through the chaos of the world, right? So we're moving past that to finding that inner stillness that is always within you. And if you have tented arches, okay, your dominant fingerprint is going to look like a tented arch. So we have a peak right in the middle of the print, and we have that, by the way, the name of this came from like a tent pole, right? So you picture putting up a tent and you have this pole right in the middle. Okay, so that's how it got the name tented arch. And so if you have two or more of these in your hands, then this corresponds to the fire element and it puts you into the school of wisdom. Okay, so if you are in this school, you are designed on a soul level to be a teacher and to share your knowledge and experience with the world. All right, this is the four schools that we can see in fingerprints. And yes, everybody has at least one purpose finger. Everybody has at least one lesson finger, unless, of course, they're all exactly the same. And then the school purpose and lesson would become your purpose and lesson. All right, but this is the system of fingerprints. Okay, so you don't actually discover your purpose, you remember it. Okay, and that remembering happens when your mind softens and your subconscious opens. Okay, so we're going to do a little invocation next. And what I would like you to do is just bring your left index finger up to your heart. All right, and this is going to help you show up for yourself. All right, so repeat this after me, and this is going to empower you to remember your purpose. Okay, I show up for myself in all ways and all dimensions. I show up for my personal growth and spiritual evolution now and always. I show up for myself as the friend I always wanted. I show up for myself to heal any and all trauma of abandonment and let go of resistance to this healing and neutralization now. As I show up for myself, I am showing others to show up too. In truth, I am not, nor have I ever been abandoned. It is only when I have abandoned myself that this pattern has chosen to resurface, to be healed and transformed now. I am now choosing to love and show up for myself as the divine loves and shows up for me, which is always for eternity. Thank you, and so it is. And just go ahead and breathe that right into your heart through your left Jupiter finger, which is your left index finger. All right, and exhale. Okay, so this is a beautiful invocation to help you remember your purpose. And the best way to fulfill your purpose, here's another message that I received from my higher dimensional guides. Okay, so they said this. The best way to fulfill one's purpose is to listen to and follow the individual guidance of the higher self. This guidance cannot be heard, let alone understood, when one is stuck in the lower vibrations of fear, chaos, and mayhem. One must come above that to hear clearly only the path of self-honoring choices that do not violate the free will of others. Then the authentic self may emerge. Think of the river and the rocks in this river. Remove the rock, and the raft may flow with ease. If they remove themselves from destructive forces that push fear, reconnect with themselves, and then look at the choices available, this is the path forward. All right, so this message is really affirming that if we're in lower vibrations, such as fear or shame or doom and gloom, any of these lower vibrations, then how are you going to hear your higher self? And remember, your higher self is that super conscious, that is your soul trying to connect with you, right? So we have to feel safe in our bodies. We have to feel safe in our path. We have to feel calm. We have to get out of that stress energy, right? And so this is really why sleep state work is so powerful, because during sleep, your subconscious is in its purest receptive state. And the noise of the conscious mind finally quiets down. And then your soul voice can become the loudest voice in the room. And so this is why I like to meditate at night. Also, good time would be first thing in the morning when you're still in that sleepy space, right? That's when you're going to be so receptive. What I'm offering you, so if you are interested, I've got a sleep meditation that is connected to purpose. And what it's going to help you with is recognizing your infinite potential. It's going to help you feel safe and secure in living your purpose. It's going to help you welcome divine assistance from your higher guides. It's going to help you release negative patterns that are blocking your highest potential and increase self-love and gentleness as you make aligned choices. All right. Normally, I only have these types of meditations available in my Diamond Mind training, which is all about helping you reprogram your subconscious and really manifest a higher version of yourself. By the way, if you're interested in joining my Diamond Path training, all you need to do is go to ascension17.com/training, and you can see what that's all about. We also have the Diamond Calling training, which is to help you really with your life purpose. And if you're curious also about your own fingerprints, I would be happy to read them for you because that is definitely what I would recommend. And just go to ascension17.com to get started. I do read for people worldwide, so you don't have to just be in Sedona. Although if you are in Sedona, you could see me in person. But I do just need a digital photo of your hands so that I can blow it up on the computer and I can see your fingerprints very easily. Definitely, if you don't know what your purpose is, your hands are going to tell you a lot. And not just fingerprints, but we also look at palmar prints and we look at talent markers and your archetype, your fingers, all kinds of stuff is going to be located in your hands. All right. But otherwise, if you would like to find the meditation, it's on my YouTube channel. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just search for the Purpose Meditation. And if you are not listening or watching on YouTube, then just go to my YouTube channel, which is at Spirit Ascension 17. All right. Also, I just want to point out that we're using Solfeggio frequencies, and these are a set of ancient musical tones that were used in various religious and spiritual traditions, including the Gregorian chants. And they've been linked to healing and transformational properties. So these frequencies are specific sound frequencies that are believed to have powerful healing and spiritual effects when they are played or sung. So for this particular meditation, we're going to be playing the 852 hertz, which is linked to intuition and spiritual awareness. This frequency helps in enhancing inner strength and raising one's energy frequency. So as you listen, it's just going to be playing in the background. You don't need to worry about it. But I do want you to understand that all the music, by the way, that I play on my channel is really designed very specifically to assist you in opening up whatever it is that we're working on. So I'm very careful about my music selection, and I try to choose healing frequencies that are going to enhance our manifestation and whatever is going to be in best alignment for that. All right. So anyway, that is it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to ascending with you, and have a beautiful day, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Life Ascended, where you can discover your divine potential every day. Please show your support by tuning in, following, sharing your comments, and inviting others to listen. Take it further by visiting ascension17.com for deeper spiritual growth, guidance, programs, and products.